G'day everyone and welcome to the Dyson Sphere Program. I'm Max and this is episode 30. This is actually a special episode as you're about to see, I think we're all done. Let's get into it. Whoa, that was a little freaky. Yes. So, with that, yeah, the factory is kind of just slowing down. Why? Well, if we just get up here a little bit, there we go. Hey, we just get up here, turn a little bit this way, look around like this. Now, is the gas giant going to give me a hard time? No, it looks like it's going to leave me alone. So that's done. That's a done deal. Look at that. The gas giant did try to grab me. Look, I knew it would. That is a done deal. So we are not launching any more rockets. I have cut off solar sail launching. It is just launching what's left inside whatever the guns have in them now and whatever's left on the belt. But up at the solar sail factory, it is now actually cut off. There's no feeding into the tower or anything like that to feed the sails. So with that, it's pretty cool. It's definitely on the brochure now. In fact, I'm probably going to do up a little brochure just to have a brochure because it's got to be on a brochure. I mean, you just can't have this kind of thing without a brochure. It is definitely cool. It's way definitely cool. You know, this is definitely what all the work was about. For sure. It's pretty crazy, right? In fact, we can probably even do this. Yeah. Who says you can't fly right through your own Dyson Sphere? Nobody, as far as I know, because looks like you can. So, of course, here we are on the inside of the Death Star Dyson Sphere. Pretty cool, definitely. As it's collecting all that Dyson Sphere energy. Now, I guess I would convert my ray receivers back to power, collecting solar power. As it turns out, we're using very little power. With the factory not doing any research, nor doing any rockets, power has definitely been a different thing. I was asked if I can land on this thing. You cannot. You actually go right through it. It's kind of weird, huh? Yeah. But yeah, we definitely created a thing, and that is pretty cool. That is definitely pretty cool. I just don't know what else to say about it now. It kind of leaves you speechless. Like the clock down there in the corner says 133 hours. Well, I realize maybe I wasn't the fastest player at it or anything like that, but we definitely got one built and done. And it cranks out lots of power. It has all kinds of power. Here, in fact, let me just kind of point my way back to the planet here, and then we'll look at that. So it's doing about 6.16 gigawatts. The shell is, and yes, there's about 360 megawatts coming from the solar sails that are around it, but they are going to eventually disappear, of course, because we're not putting any sails into more sails up there at the moment. So that is going to do it, and it should be just left with the 616. It looks awesome. Basically, did the cool soccer ball little thingy that, that was advertised that I talked about, 15 episodes ago or so, and we started working on, and yeah. You kind of do really. I've been in here doing really cool things, like trying to spin it as fast as I can to see if I can make myself dizzy and stuff. It's yep. It come on. You had to try and do something like this, right? That that's the thing. So, did I go past the planet? Yes. Woo. I didn't realize I was flying that fast. So now let's actually look at the planet itself. It's like I said, it's kind of running kind of slow. I'm surprised actually to see so many logistics vessels flying around out here, because the planet itself is it's just kind of getting a little slower. Things are kind of slowing down a little bit. Zoop. Here we go. Because we're not making things now. Well, what it's doing is it is finishing up, filling up boxes of things, right? So now you'll notice here, like all these boxes are just full because all right, that is pretty cool, right? Like dun 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 dun. Okay, that is pretty cool. I'm telling you, I'm going to make a brochure. But yeah, now it's literally like, for 50 hours, I could barely squeak out a motor, much less 50 of them. Now I just have boxes. There's just boxes of motors, right? As I mentioned, I've cut off the solar sails. So now, these are running. This is one of the few things that's actually running. And I guess I'm just going to shove them into a box. I cut a lot of the boxes down, but I guess we're just going to shove these ones into a box for now. Might start shipping them to the new system, which of course is going to, be a big thing in episode 31. Of course, again, science is all turned off at the moment because, I could easily start things up by doing white science, right? Because there's no colored science left to do, so there's only the white science left, and but I'm just kind of letting the factory take a break, just like Mr. Roboto said, you deserve a little rest. Like, we are barely using 300 megawatts. It's kind of weird, so yes, we still make things, right? We're still making graphite, a couple other things, right? But like, mega diamonds and blue clovers and all that stuff, this is one of the few things that's actually packing up or runs constantly, is because blue chips. But I guess my scale was never quite right. I always had the balance was never good, right? But I never, I really didn't do a lot of math in any of this planet. I literally would just throw things down because it looked good. Like, I probably could have done this with 10 machines, but I put 30 down because I thought, well, you know what? It's copper and iron, and you can always use more copper and iron, right? You can always just use more. And then, of course, I learned that same lesson later with the silicon plating and stuff. Yeah, more is always better. Just do more. More is always good, right? I got to clean up some of these boxes. In fact, what's going to happen here at Planet Max is it's probably going to get a redesign, because its focus now will now be just research, and it's not going to be doing rockets. Rockets are now going to be left to the new system, right? So we're probably going to take out that entire rocket assembly and the whole 9 yards down there. If I want, like, let's say I want to add a second shell or something later on just for funsies, right? We'll have rocket launchers here, but we won't actually make the rockets here. The new system will be making the rockets. Here, it's all about the science now. It's going to be all about the science. I'd like to clean up some of these, like some of this stuff here, where it cut in through the line, my equatorial ray receiver line and stuff like that. I might clean up some of these guns, take them to the new system. I mean, really, I got what? There got to be a couple hundred guns here. Chances are I probably don't need a couple hundred here. So I can probably just clean some of these up, take them with me. I am probably going to leave the oil running. Now, obviously, it's for two reasons. One, the oil setup, we're still going to do science here, so you still got to have stuff for the science stuff. But two, this is a massive build. You know, like, I mean, this is a massive build, and still does collect antimatter like crazy nobody's business, right? So, I mean, between the deuteron fuel and the antimatter fuel we make here, holy smokes, like we do some fuel in here. You know, there's no reason to kill any of this off. The oil wells, unlike the rest of it, the oil wells aren't running out. They're just running. So, cool. We'll let them run all day. It'll be great. So, that's kind of what's going on with the home planet and everything that we're going to do with it. Yeah, it's just going to be a science planet. We're gonna turn this into a science planet. I'm actually going to clean up a lot of the. We'll be cleaning up a lot of these towers and things, of course, because I'd like to rejig. Well, there's two things. One, I'd like to rejig some of the factories in here, especially stuff that is needed for rockets only. But the other thing is that eventually, with just science being made, some of this stuff, with the towers and things, I'd like to try and convert the planet to provided only. So we are running. Now I say this. I was going to say we are running out of resources. It's just about done. I mean, yeah, there's some stone veins around, and yeah, there's coal veins here. But I mean, we are less than 1 million. We're not even 500,000 in iron ore, and we're just over 500,000 in the copper. A lot of these veins are pretty much done. Like, there's not a lot left. So I have to convert a lot of this stuff to provided only. And in fact, a lot of that's going on right now. What you see here is you see a lot of towers, like this stone tower. This stone tower is actually just sneaking in stone from stone refineries in other locations, right? So, yes, this stone refinery here was plugging away and plugging away and plugging away. And then it wasn't keeping up anymore. So this stone tower supplemented it. Well, now this tower will actually be it, because once that stone is gone, we of course will use these towers to just keep the planet running. And really, I guess that's kind of the end goal, right, of your world, is to actually import all your material and just keep your science running while the other worlds are busy making all the things. So that's pretty cool. So that is episode 30. A little bit of a short episode today, as this episode was not about the new system. It's not about the stuff and the things. It literally is just about this great big huge thing that we've built in the sky and can now look at. Because that's really, really cool with all my research here in the front. So, with that, this is Max. And starting with episode 31, of course, it's going to be all in the new stuff. It's actually going to get its own playlist. And it's going to be called Dyson Sphere Program Next. And you're also going to see that on the what are they called? The tiles, the tiles that YouTube show you, the thumbnails. There you go. So on the thumbnails, you're going to see Dyson Sphere Program Next. The numbering will not go back to 1. It's going to start at 31 and keep going, but the thumbnails will have a slightly different look. They will get their own playlist, of course, as we're going to be building in that system. We'll be coming back to Planet Max here lots of times because we've got to keep picking up supplies and a bunch of other things probably. Like I said, I'll probably come back here, pick up those guns and lots of other stuff. And of course, the planet is not totally turned off. It will do research, so we'll tweak it to that. But with that, I've been Max, and I hope you've enjoyed this little tour around the last day of the Dyson Sphere now being fully built here in the ridiculous system. And I still don't have a name for the new system. I'll think of something. And I appreciate you watching, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.